Self-Mastery Through Conscious Autosuggestion by Emile Coue. The book, Self-Mastery Through Conscious Autosuggestion by Emile Coue is first published in 1920. Emile Coue is a French psychologist and pharmacist considered to be the pioneer of one of the most popular methods of psychotherapy and self-improvement known as autosuggestion. Noticing that the patient's belief and expectations relating to the efficacy of a medicine were just as important as the medicine itself, he discovered the powerful phenomenon of the placebo. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell button to make sure you learn every time we have a new video out. We'll also leave an Amazon link for the book in the description below for your convenience. The power of a patient's mind to contribute to the success of a given treatment motivated Coué to explore the power of the imagination. The author claims that suggestion, or rather autosuggestion, is as old as the world. It's an instrument that we possess at birth. It's a power which produces the best of the worst results. Knowledge of this force is useful to each one of us, especially to doctors, magistrates, lawyers, and to those engaged in the work of education. In order to understand suggestion and autosuggestion, it's necessary to know that two absolutely distinct selves exist within us: conscious and unconscious. Coué explains that our unconscious self is responsible for the functioning of all our organs and all our actions as well. We call it imagination, and it always makes us act against our will when there's antagonism between these two forces. We constantly give ourselves unconscious autosuggestions, and all we have to do is give ourselves conscious ones. The author is sure that if you persuade yourself that you can do a certain thing, you will do it, however difficult it may be. If, on the contrary, you imagine that you can't do the simplest thing in the world, it's impossible for you to do it. He thinks that if certain people are ill mentally and physically, it is that they imagine themselves to be ill mentally or physically. Neurasthenia, stammering, aversions, kleptomania, certain cases of paralysis are the results of unconscious autosuggestion. But if our unconscious is the source of many of our illnesses, it can also bring the cure of them. From the numerous experiments that Coué had made daily for 20 years, he summed up some conclusions. 1. When the will and the imagination are antagonistic, it's always the imagination which wins, without any exception. 2. In the conflict between the will and the imagination, the force of the imagination is in direct ratio to the square of the will. 3. When the will and the imagination are in agreement, one doesn't add to the other, but one is multiplied by the other. 4. The imagination can be directed. The author's advice is, when you wish to do something reasonable, to think that it is easy. Instead of words like difficult, impossible, etc., to use it is easy and I can. All suggestions must be made in a monotonous and soothing voice, emphasizing the essential words. The magical words that every patient must repeat 20 times every morning before getting up and every evening before going to bed are, every day, in every respect, I am getting better and better. According to the author, this general suggestion is more efficient than special ones. The repetition of the same words forces you to think them, and when we think them, they become true for us and transform themselves into reality. His method can be used for training and correction of children by their parents. Parents should wait until the child is asleep, and then one of them should enter the room with precaution, stop near the bed, and repeat 15 or 20 times in a murmur all the things they wish to obtain from the child. Then the parent should leave the room, taking great care not to awake the child. This extremely simple process gives the best possible results. When the child is asleep, their body and conscious self are at rest, but their unconscious self is awake, and accepts what the parent says. The author thinks that if certain people don't have good results with autosuggestion, it's either because they lack confidence or because they make efforts. To make good suggestions, it is absolutely necessary to do it without effort. The book, Self-Mastery Through Autosuggestion by Emile Coue, is a real pleasure to read. It's informative and inspiring, a short and easy read. The method looks childish just because it's within the scope of everyone. And if we put it into practice, great results can be achieved. Tell us in the comments, what's your favorite book? Facebook, Read and Grow 1. Twitter, twitter.com/readandgrow1.